Hello, everybody, and a really warm welcome to another courageous conversation. My name is Pollyanna Darling, and I look after community engagement and strategy for TreeSisters and also head up TreeSisters in Australia. And I'm really, really thrilled today to be speaking with Amruta Gupta, who is coming to us live from Pune in India. And I'll just share with you a little about Amruta in her own words so that you can know a little more about her. Amruta is a passionate nature lover, a tree sister, an intuitive artist, and very imaginative. She's been directed to work towards empowering the divine feminine principle within the collective and can be called a visionary who always has an eye to bring in innovative ideas to the table. Additionally, being dyslexic, ISFP personality type, and a humanitarian kind of person, it gives Amruta great joy to be part of an organization as a volunteer that works towards the betterment of our planet and humanity. I'm so excited to be speaking to you today, Amruta. Really warm welcome. And
Thank you, Pollyanna.
yeah, and the first question I'd really love to ask you is, why are you a tree sister?
Uh, to answer this, I would like to actually start with a poem written by Claire. She says, "If I show you my heart, will you know what that means? If I tell you the truth, will you still hold my gaze? If I own all the paths that society shuns, will you shun me too? Would you choose to let me walk this path without you? Or will you laugh that wild laugh, roar your knees, dance like the wind, trip like the trees? Will you throw out the lies and the fear of too much and redefine sisters beside me?" I'm just feeling this poem, and I would also answer that sisters, I actually found a sisterhood here wherein I feel nurtured, I feel cared, I feel loved, supported. I found sisters who saw the best in me even when I did not. And of course, for trees, because I have that undying and unconditional love for trees. And somewhere I did not know that I've been attracted to nature, especially trees, so much until I found Tree Sisters. Uh, the day I came across the website of Tree Sisters, I was like, it just blew my mind. I thought, wow, what an organization who is actually reforesting the tropic and actually looking for the betterment of the planet, and not because I come from a background of banking wherein we are actually only pushed towards somewhere to earn profit, to make money. But finding Tree Sisters was out of the world, I would say, to because somewhere there was a deep calling, there was a deep knowing in me to be to be um, to be an instrument for the betterment of this planet. The way our society works, the way our lifestyles are. Somewhere I knew that no, this is not the right way. And while leaving the banking job, I had two options. I either to go back to a similar kind of job, or to actually follow that unknown or deep calling within me, which is saying that have trust that you will find what you are supposed to be doing. And that's a different thing that I've not still figured out that exactly what I want have to do. But I have been with the exploration. I found that I have to be a part. I love to be a part of the organization who works for the betterment of humanity, and of course, bringing the climate being this solution to the climate. And I would say to be to be an instrument for the women empowerment.
Mm.
I don't know, being a woman or being a girl, the way I grew up, I used to always feel limited. I felt as if since childhood I had been given a mold, a very decorative mold. Okay, Amrita, here it is. Now you need to fit into this. So somewhere there was a rebel inside me who said, "No, this is not the way." But still, I tried to fit in. I used to beat up myself and why don't I fit? But after coming to Three Sisters, and of course, there were other teachers, healers, other organizations which I came across in this past 1.5 year, which wherein I learned to be myself. And the pioneer was for me was Tree Sisters, to be myself, where
Mm.
I saw Claire's first interview wherein she's saying that you should not be ashamed of your period. That that was so much empowering for me, wherein I grew up and I was told always that you your menses is something which you need to be feeling awkward about, and uh, be ashamed about, and you cannot just go out and talk about it. You need to always hide it. But after this I actually got to know, oh my god, like that is the essence of being a woman. And yes, why are we feeling ashamed about it? There are still women in my community and my city as well who are not comfortable talking about periods. But now, after this journey and after connecting to my womb space, I feel there is the real power which lies of a woman, which
Yeah.
we are been somewhere just because we had to be controlled, we had to be, you know, had to be certain way. That is the reason suppressed. Somewhere we have been diverted from our powers.
Yeah.
So I actually can recall only this was that the way I came across Tree Sisters and I became a part of Tree Sisters, and this is just uh, you know rived my relationship with myself and with nature, and of course with the environment around me, and actually to bring out the courageous Amruta in me.
Yeah.
Who's
So I
trying to
think,
have a conversation.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's worth sharing with everybody that it was a really big deal for you to come on camera and share your voice and be in this conversation. And I'd love you to share some of how you have found that courage to bring your voice forward and be here with us today.
Like I would say, I'm an introverted kind of person. Like I'm an ISFP personality type, which I just came to know last year that I'm introverted,
So what
sensing,
is that one?
feeling,
What's
perception.
ISFP?
It's introverted. It's according to Myers-Briggs personality types. Every person, like there are people who are divided into 16 personalities. Like he's divided into 16 personalities. So ISFP is one of the personality type called as introverted, sensing, feeling, perception. So these people are a bit kind of introverted. So introverted as in they try to actually avoid attention, be off cameras, and so in that, and this was my natural kind of a behavior. Though I would actually call myself ambivert, wherein I used to go out and talk to people, but that was not so much. Coming on camera is a big deal for me. Like, I can be behind camera and do all sorts of things. But coming in front of camera and talking to people, talking to you and talking to the audience is like a big deal. And I've learned from Tree Sisters by being on call, and I've been encouraged to be myself. Like in my past organization also, and being in a conventional society where people try to actually, always look at others to see, okay, is this woman dressed up in a particular, appropriate way? Is she looking in an appropriate way? Is she talking in an appropriate way? Is she being in an appropriate way? But at Tree Sisters, I was encouraged to be myself, however
Mm.
I am, to accept myself and be my real natural self. Even if my hair is not proper, that's okay. I don't have be bothered about it, because yes, I had that, kind of, I would say, on Mondays were my worst days. I would say, I'm sorry if my ex-colleagues are watching this video, but Mondays were my worst days, because I used to hate going to organization, because I used to always had the threat to be a certain way, to actually fit into a mold, the way, okay, no, I cannot be too much, I cannot be too happy, I cannot be even sad, because
Mm.
people will question, and why are you, and they will try to bring you to a particular state which they think is applicable. But at Tree Sisters, the acceptance has become very easy for me. So I feel this should be with every woman, every person, wherein we should learn to actually accept ourselves. Everybody, since childhood, like, we are told, okay, you have to be this way, you have to be that way. You've been shown pictures,
Mm.
but nobody told me, Amruta, be yourself.
That's so true. No one told me that either.
So actually, my dad also used to inspire me, but he did not tell me that, okay, Amrita, that's okay. However you are, you're good. He used to inspire me. You need to be a great person. You need to do this. You need to do that. But unfortunately, nobody told me, Amrita, just be yourself. That is required in the moment. So that was so empowering. That was because I used to always struggle to bring myself to a state which I used to feel this would be accepted by the society or my environment or my family.
Yeah.
So
So
that's a gift. Yeah.
I know that you took a very courageous step after doing the inner journey and feeling inspired to bring your voice and um, to do something around breaking the taboo around menstruation in your community. And I'm really interested to hear from you why it was that you wanted to do that particular thing, and what challenges you faced, and how you found your courage to do that.
Like I started volunteering for Tree Sisters in April somewhere this year, which was actually a dream come true from 2018 when I first found Tree Sisters. So the volunteers have to do they go through an induction process. So in that induction process, there is a map. There's a map of consciousness which was gifted to Claire. So while walking through that map, in that meditation, I got powerful insight. Like, I felt as if, the spirit of Mother Earth is asking me that I need to prepare either a presentation or a write up or anything, out there about menstruation, about the importance of menstruation in women's or girls' life. So I felt, oh my God, like I cannot even talk about menses. Cannot even talk about periods. And though I had come to a very, a right relationship with my menses by giving the menstruation blood to Mother Earth every month. since October 2018. I've been doing this, and this actually changed my perception on how I look at the blood of my menses. I used to feel that is something impure, something dirty, which I need to be, more careful about, related to hygiene and everything. But the act of simple giving it back to Mother Earth and thinking that this is something which is important for her made me realize, yes, this is so much, this is having so much importance, which we
Mm.
are not realizing. And after getting this insight, I was really not sure how I would actually, put this out. And I tried talking to some of my friends, but they did not, they were not very keen. They were having, of course, some hesitation, shyness, which of course, I do, because I remember when I was in my organization, I used to ping and ask for pads. That time I used to use pads, so I used to ping or message my female colleagues and ask them, because I can't even say the word pad in
Mm.
front of the male colleagues. I used to be very hesitant and very shy, and of course introvert. So so that is the thing. But now I feel, no, this is not something we should be shying off, or we should be feeling bad about it. And when it came to making a presentation or making some write up, I did make, I did find some pictures, I did some research online, I did try to write about it in my words, what I feel about menstruation and how women should, you know start treating menses. Like, we are in a patriarchal world wherein, we are told that we can only rest on Sundays, or maybe not even on Sundays.
Mm.
So if people are, if like, woman like me is talking like, you should, rest on your menses day, women in my community think she's gone crazy. Like, who does that? We follow a schedule, right? So, but
Yeah.
nature has its own schedule. If we are not following, we are part of nature. That is what I have come to know. Of course, we are not separate from it. So the moment we think we are separate, that time all the problems start happening. And we are just seeing it all around. So um when sorry, I just missed it. Yeah, so when we follow nature's schedule, which is saying that you need to rest on your menstrual day, that time, our bodies actually require rest, because we women are made in such a way that we go in cycles of rest as, revival.
Mm.
So if we are not resting on those days, somewhere or the other, the symptoms start coming in either in the physical form, in the emotional form, or something or the else happens. So luckily in my sabbatical, I found I found that leisure to actually rest on those days, and and I observe whenever I'm resting on my menses day, I feel when I'm ovulating, I am in my I would say uh, in my very good energetic way form. Like,
Mm.
I'm very energetic, I get good ideas, insights, and i I get I can hear the messages from spirit very clearly. Now I can talk this, that I am an intermediate between spirit world and the real world. That is only with Tree Sisters. If I tell this to my family, they'll think I'm schizophrenic. So, so yeah, everything has happened. So this menses thing also, when I was inspired by Emma, who was the earlier volunteer coordinator, who inspired me to actually post it on Tree Sisters Nest, at least to actually get a feedback how
Mm.
how it is, and then maybe I can go out and then I can posted on my Facebook page. So I got a very support, good support from TreeSisters, and from you as well, to to go out and post about it. And
And
most
what kind
important,
of reception did you get when you did post about it on your own Facebook? Was it, how was that?
uh, it, to be honest, from my community, I did not receive much of the,
Mm,
um, for my post, I would say, but this somewhere rippled out, and I felt there were various YouTube channels who actually propagated positivity around menses. So that was real good. That was very relieving to see that.
mm,
Um, that they were also talking about positivity around menses, because coming from a background where there is only negativity spread about menses and to be ashamed of, and the way I wrote, that is the reason the pad's name is also whisper and stay free,
yeah,
carefree. So it's because we were never encouraged to talk about menses, something which we had to actually hide it. And so I was not connected to my womb space, I feel. So by feeling your menses, or by connecting to your womb, is your actually the the power, your root chakra, if the energy center of root is over there. So in case if you're not rooted in your body, then of course you would not be rooted in this world also.
yeah.
So that is what I felt. And that is where, when I recall my past few years, I used to feel very limited. I had all those stories, no, I should not be doing this, I should not be doing that, and I cannot feel vulnerable also. But after coming to this, to this knowing, to be, that you are rooted and you are powerful as you are,
Mm,
is something, which opened the doors for me to be myself. And yes, and I would say I want to continue this project of menstruation, because I feel here in India, the sanitary products, the napkins, which the pads which are used, which is mostly uh, kind of made in such a way that they are not environment friendly.
mm,
And I've been using menstrual cup. So I've been using menstrual cup since October 2018. That was the time when I got to know that here they just burn the sanitary napkins, which is actually, they burn the polymers. So which is so bad for the environment. And plus the blood, the menstruation blood, which can actually go back to the land, go back to the Mother Earth, is somewhere stuck in that sanitary napkin and is being burnt and is causing pollution to the land, to the air, and of course to the water.
mm,
So I feel I want to be a part of this promotion, wherein at least either women switch to a menstrual cup, wherein it's a reusable cup, and you can actually, the blood which we can safely give it back to Mother Earth, or to switch to biodegradable pads which are actually, you know not harmful for the environment. So
yeah.
I feel somewhere it's like first starting the topic of menses and then coming to this topic. So this is the thing, but I feel somewhere the journey is started, though,
Yeah.
but we are in the process, like, yeah, I would
And
say.
since you've found your voice, I know that you've been speaking up about the trees and
Mhm.
speaking to people in your community about the importance of all that. And I'd love you to share a little about that, about what you're doing, and about how, because I know that you were very shy about bringing your voice before, and I think it's really inspiring for any woman anywhere to see that any person is able to speak for the trees and for the planet. So I'd love you to share a little bit about that and about the kind of courage that you've needed to find within yourself to do that.
I would just start with saying, when I was in the corporate, working, for the bank, somewhere my colleagues used to make fun of me. We will arrange a, a desk for you in the garden or in the nature. Okay, I used to never understand that. So that was when I walked this journey of this, being in sabbatical. I came to know I have so much, so much attracted to trees, to nature. And nature is so, because I'm an empath. Now an empath is a person who is very sensitive to energy, who feels energy. So such a person has to actually be in nature, has to actually either see nature or be nature, or so I never knew this until I explored myself and explored my various my qualities, my innate gifts, I would say. So, and coming across trees was like, wow, like I already love trees, and Tree Sisters are doing so much for the trees. So this was like, a win-win situation for me. So I actually I became the member of Tree Sisters by contributing um, donation every month. And being a member, I also got to know the various projects about Tree Sisters and how they are actually reforesting the tropics, which is actually required in the moment. Because it's not like, okay, I'm in India, I will only reforest in India, and I would not think about it, the rest of the place. But Tree Sisters is actually reforesting the whole planet, and that too in a very I would say in a way to bring the planet thriving back. So it is like, you know to think about the climate. And sorry, I forgot your question, I would say.
That's all
Actually,
right.
Pauline, I have so many things to say, and to bring this out.
Yeah, I was just asking about the question was around your journey with um, speaking up in your community and with people that you know around the importance of trees and how you found the courage to do that.
Okay. Yeah, then I would say, I used to never talk about trees, or though I used to show my my interest, okay, by looking at trees. But after coming across Tree Sisters, I got that courage, I got that the way how I should be talking to people, that yes, we can be a part of uh, in saving our environment. Because I used to feel, since earlier people just complain, the
Mm,
climate is not good, the climate is changing. Now it's raining here in Pune in the October end. Used to never see so much rains. It's actually flooded last month in Pune very badly, wherein there is outage in my own building. So I feel somewhere the importance to nature is not given, because in a patriarchal society, the importance is given only to money. How do you
mm,
earn money? How do you earn your status quo? How do you be, reach a certain milestone? And then the milestones are also set by the society. The milestones are not set by us. Somewhere it's not, doesn't define our happiness. At least it doesn't define my happiness. As I was told, certain milestones in my life, a salary hike or a promotion or a good job or a good designation will give you happiness in your life. But I feel in last 1 year, I've crossed many milestones, which has given me so much of happiness. So I've been volunteering, of course, with Tree Sisters, and also with local organization here called Sneha Foundation. And there's an there's a network called Connect For, wherein they bring the volunteers and the local NGOs together, and they actually find if they have the common interest, then we can volunteer for them. So in that process, I actually volunteered for a few of the tree plantation drives. I was part of India Green and Wild movement, wherein we had to go to the schools and talk about the importance of environment and not to destroy our forest. Because I felt by going to the school and talking to the principal, I came to know, yes, that it's very important that the children or the future of the the coming generation, it's important to tell them that we have only one planet, and we need to actually,
Yeah.
save that planet, and by being a part of the solution, not just thinking, okay, how I become an engineer, a doctor, or or maybe something else, but how we can be a part of the a climate solution. And by that is by planting trees is so easy, like, it's not, nothing is complicated, there's no rocket science in that.
Yeah.
But still somewhere you know, but still somewhere people uh, kind of don't understand the importance of it. Like, sometimes I actually travel with cab, so I share my cab with strangers as well. And sometimes if they complain about climate, I can come up with, yes, I know, climate is changing. 10 years back Pune was not like this. It's of course changed climatically. And why? Because we are just destroying the planet by cutting off the trees. There's so much deforestation happening, and
Mm.
we're just building these complexes and the institutes and various things, but we are not reforesting. We are not planting trees. Somewhere we need to do that. And because trees are the important, the element to bring rain and to hold the water. So here I'm happy that Kaveri calling is happening in my country, wherein Sadhguruji is actually, he's leading, and um, I am totally, in awe with his vision and mission to actually bring back the Kaveri back to its flow in the because if you see the entire southern region has been deforested. Why it's deforested? Because of cutting of trees, and these ocean water is getting inside, and we are actually losing out on the agricultural land. So this is a very good, and actually, if to be, that the somewhere the rain clouds come from the south towards the north. So somewhere, if the water is not tagged in the south, then it comes here to the to the western
Um,
part, and then it goes to the north. So in 2018, South Kerala faced floods. Then in this year, Kolhapur, there's a city called Kolhapur and Pune face floods. And in case we are not acting on this may actually go further. So
so,
somewhere,
Sadhguru, what is Sadhguru's vision that you just mentioned? What's his big vision?
his vision is actually to he is of course a part of green projects. He's anti green projects, and he visions that India comes, thriving back as a economically and ecologically, strong planet, stronger India. And of course, he's not only looking at India, he's also looking at the entire planet as a whole, wherein he also believes that only by planting trees, and we are actually empowering the farmers by shifting them from the traditional agriculture to agroforestry. Because right now there is a law in India that the farmers can't cut the trees. So that's the reason they're not planting trees. And if the
Ah,
trees are not on the land, then trees are not bringing the rains. So that is causing the drought. So droughts are happening. They cannot grow proper crops. The food is not being, grown. So that is, in fact, that has caused many suicide of the farmers, because the farmers lost their the economic plan, like they were not economically strong. So his vision is to, of course, climatically also bring back India back and the way it was earlier. And of course, he's also looking at the farmers' economic plan, wherein he's trying to empower farmers and to make them independent, I would say, because it's always either they're taking grants or they're taking loans from the government, and when they are unable to repay back to them, so they actually do suicides, and they're losing their lives. and
Yeah.
and he says that these farmers have a rich knowledge of growing food, and they've been feeding 1.2 billion population of India. So, if they also, and he's saying that if farmers, next generation become doctors, engineers, and other graduates who will grow food for India. So,
Yeah.
with the help of Kaveri calling, I would say, is a plan for farmers actually to empower them, and by shifting them to the agriculture. No,
Yeah,
agroforestry.
agroforestry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyone who's listening who is a Tree Sisters donor, we are one of the projects that we fund is Project Green Hands in Tamil Nadu. So yeah, it's really interesting to me to hear more
Mhm.
about Sadhguru's vision. So
Yeah.
I'm conscious of the time, and I would really love it if you will wrap up this interview by sharing if there was one message that you could share with anybody who is thinking about joining Tree Sisters or wanting to do something to help restore our earth. What is the one message that you would really love to share?
I would just say follow your calling, follow your heart. That is what I've learned being at Tree Sisters. Um, because nothing is very clear. Like, of course, of course, we have grown up, wherein we have given this picture. Okay, here, this is the thing. You have to just, go. You have to just take this path. So life is not that way. Um, life has many surprises for you, many shocks as well. So it is only by hearing your own calling, hearing your own heart, will you be able to follow the path of your heart. And I would say, by being Tree Sisters, it it gave me an immense satisfaction, that I am doing something for the planet, and I'm being a part of a climate solution. And I got a network, I got a support system where I somewhere yearned since my childhood, I would say, or maybe my last years. So this is a network of love, I would say. And you just need to, and there's no requirement to be a Tree Sisters, like, no eligibility criteria. The eligibility criteria is just to be yourself. And I would say I have just grown, I've just transformed, and I'm still on this journey, where the courageous conversation is one of the milestone, I would say, for
Mm.
me. And yes, I would say just follow your heart. Don't follow what others tell you, or what the society tells you, or what the books tell you,
Yeah, I love
education
that.
system. So that is what I would say for anybody who wants to join, and who has slightest of concern for the environment and for our planet.
Yeah.
So it's a very easy way to actually be the climate solution. Tree Sisters makes it so easy. Like, I would say, I am because I kind of makes things easier, and I actually somewhat, shy away from complex things, because complex things doesn't, and TreeSisters have made it very easy for me. And yeah, so people who want
That's
easy
wonderful.
life
Yeah.
should actually come and join TreeSisters, and yes, and be a part of the climate solution.
Thank you so much. I love that the eligibility criteria is just to be yourself. I really love that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Amruta, for being with us today on this courageous conversation and for finding the courage to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure. And for anybody who's watching, if you would love to join us and help us to reforest the tropics by funding our 9 now really amazing projects across the tropics, do take a look at treesisters.org, and you can find out all about our projects and the other amazing work that we're doing. And we'd so love you to join us. And there will be another courageous conversation in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much again, Amruta, and we'll see everybody really soon.
Thank you. Bye.